What's up, everybody? My name is Score Trades. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my 4 biggest trades I've taken this month, right? I'm going to be going over my Nvidia trade, this Amazon trade, and then this AMD and Tesla trade. So I'm going to be going over those 4 trades, showing you guys my setups, what I was thinking, my analysis before the trades, right? My alerts, pretty much how I'm calling the trades beforehand, how I'm thinking. And at the end of this video, we're going to pretty much have a summary of what I essentially look for. So if you guys watch this entire video throughout, you kind of will understand what I look for, right? And it makes sense, right? A lot of things in trading don't make sense until someone explains them to you, because trading is not easy. It's hard, right? Trading is only easy once you understand what you're supposed to do and you wake up and do the exact same thing over and over again. But once you have not gone to that phase of repetition, you're in a big phase of confusion because you don't know what you should be doing. So this video will be helpful to a lot of traders, right? If you guys get value from this video, which you for sure will, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what other videos you guys want me to make in the future. And let's get right into the video. So I will be talking about, right, first of all, this Nvidia trade, which I made over $10,000 on. So let's get into the video. So what is this trade right here? So this trade was taken on April 24th, okay? And what do we see here happening on Nvidia? So as you guys will see, right, a lot of my trades will be taking with the higher time frame. I want to be taking names that are either showing bullish higher time frame confluences or above our key levels, which normally it's coupled with both. So what's happening on Nvidia here, right? So if you kind of zoom out a little bit, right, we're just consolidating, right? We're clearly consolidating right, this 203 area, right? Nvidia's consolidating, right, in this kind of upper channel. So Nvidia is due for a breakout. So my thesis on this day / this week was, you know what, AMD's at all-time highs, QQ and SPY's all-time highs, right? Nvidia is clearly lagging behind this, so I expect a breakout of this name. So what do I want to see? A breakout on the higher time frame, which was 203 key level for me. End up taking a trade on this name. That was my thesis. And guys, you can talk all you want, but I'm gonna show you guys my analysis, my proof of me even calling this out. So let me pull up this real quick. So let's pull this up, right? So let me go up here, right? So let's look at this, right? My main watch is still AMD and Nvidia. Amazon above 261 for all-time highs move, and Nvidia for its higher time frame consolidation break to 206, right? Even above here, setting alert for Nvidia high day since it's gonna break out on higher time frame, right? Again, Nvidia. So I know that Nvidia looks good on a higher time frame. So now let me show you guys my alerts real quick before we really go in depth, right? Keep an eye on Nvidia. We're breaking above this high day, right? In Nvidia calls, big pop, and pretty much, right, this ended up going over 400%. So that was pretty much the trade for that day. And what I see, simply us just consolidating in this tight wedge, right? Clearly you can see Nvidia is consolidating, holding above VWAP, right? I'm only taking trades above VWAP for calls and below VWAP for puts. You literally will never see me taking trades below the opposite. Never. You will never see me unless I'm like gambling or doing some stupid shit, right? Which I haven't done in like years. So like normally I will always take calls above VWAP, right? Because I'm always trying to trade with momentum and trend, and usually it's always above VWAP, right? So we're consolidating up VWAP in this tight wedge, right? Clearly just making a tight wedge. I now want to see this kind of break out of this wedge and this 203 level. So my entry model for this trade was very simple. It was nothing too crazy, guys. Literally, I understood higher time frame was bullish. I understand the market context, right? So simply once we broke above this kind of 203 level, right, my indicator gave me extra confidence that there's increasing volume. Entered off this kind of pullback into this level, calls at this candle, stop loss below this 203 plus order block, right here. If you guys kind of don't understand what these kind of confluences I'm talking about, I made videos about them, watch them, right? Like literally actual sauce. So that was pretty much the trade. And because I had that higher time frame confluences, because I had that thesis I showed you earlier, I can hold my trade bigger position to my key level, which is at 206 level and beyond, right? You have to understand these things, and you don't understand these things from trading for only 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. No, you have to be trading for quite some time, right? 2 years, 3 years, and you go through some dark times. So now let me go to the second trade, right? Let's talk about Amazon. So I don't even remember how much I made on that Amazon trade. So Amazon trade made $3,100. So let's talk about this Amazon trade now. So again, what are you guys kind of noticing amongst this trend of these trades I'm taking, right? It's kind of always above or below a range, right? It could be a pre-market range or a previous high range, right? Some range in the higher time frame that we're breaking. So what is happening on this Amazon trade, right? We're clearly showing strong wicks at this kind of level. And what is this level? It's at 256 whole psychological number coupled with that pre-market high. So I know that, you know what? This is the area that has previous resistance, right? Previous resistance, why is it not clicking? Previous resistance right here, previous resistance right here, right? Previous resistance right here. So if we can break this level, right, then I expect this area, if we broke into, right, if price gets pulled back into this area that was previous resistance, I want to see that area that was previous resistance and now turns to support. So I can enter calls just simply off a break of this level, right? This 256 now going to be my stop loss, right? Enter calls at this candle, stop loss below at 256, and we have quite a lot of market structure supporting this trade, right? We had strong resistance right here, pre-market high, these wicks, which are technically order blocks right here. So if we end up coming back below, it'll just be a failed kind of breakout, and I'll take the L on the trade, right? Otherwise, if we end up having that nice move, right, then I will likely have a bigger risk to reward on that trade. So my reward will be way bigger than my risk, right? If you guys are noticing, a lot of these trades, right, the risk is very minimal while the reward is bigger because I'm playing with the trend, right? That is the best type of trading, in my opinion, that you can do. So now I'll show you guys the alerts for that trade. So I gotta pull it up, because let me find it. So okay, so right, so I kind of talked about that. So we're breaking above our pre-market high level, we're above our previous high level, so now we're bullish on the higher time frame as well. So now let me pull up the alerts. So right here, so I took an L prior to this, right? I took an L prior to this, right? I'm not a perfect trader, right? My winner only this month is 65%, right? But usually my winners are always bigger than my losers, right? Amazon calls on watch, we're clearly breaking above that pre-market high plus previous high level, previous resistance, now international support. Enter call, stop loss will be below that area that we previously rejected, right? And then we had a very, very nice move up, right? And then we had some consolidation, right? We held that kind of previous low well, and then SPY, right? I'm using SPY to my advantage as well, right? I realize that SPY is near this key level, so SPY can break above, then I can expect Amazon to have a very nice move as well, because if the indices are breaking above high day, I expect buyers to step in. So then, you know, Amazon ended up running very nice and ended up hitting my TP perfectly. So that is pretty much that second trade, right? You guys noticing something as well? I'm playing with the trend. Higher time frame is clear, right? Very clear risk to reward, right? Stop loss is very minimal. So if I do kind of get stopped out, then the loss won't be that big. And so that's why, like, if I take 2 trades in a day, right? My first trade is a loser and my second trade is a winner. My winner normally will cover that first loss because, right, my second trade should pay more. My risk to reward should be bigger than 1 to 2, 1 to 3, right? These risk to rewards are like 1 to 5, 1 to 4, just because the market has been so nice this month, right? But yeah, so again, you know, I'm not doing anything too crazy. I'm just patient waiting for high probability setup, right? And I know explaining it, right, me explaining it sounds obvious, but in the real-time markets, you have to be very patient. You have to build those good habits, right? If you're just you don't have those good habits, you're not going to be making money. And the good habits are pretty hard to make, and not hard to make, but hard to be consistently do. So let's talk about the AMD trade now. So this trade was pretty insane, right? This trade was based off the higher time frame thesis of that all-time highs break, right? So Nvidia was near all-time highs, and I kind of wanted to see it just break all-time highs, right? Semiconductors were popping, and this name, right, this setup, guys, was literally the easiest setup ever. So ignoring, right, we're already way above our previous high level, right? We're above our previous high level, which is literally right here, right? We're above our pre-market, actually, we're above our pre-market high level as well, right? Which is 830, right? Which is actually above here. So we're not actually above our pre-market high level yet, but actually, are we? Let me see this, 830. So technically we're not above our pre-market high level yet, right? The pre-market high level is actually right here, but the thesis matters a lot here. So we know higher time frame, we are bullish, right? Look at this, guys. Look at this higher time frame. Clearly the momentum to the upside. I'm not trying to short this, right? Unless we're below like key levels, right? But I'm not trying to short this. So this trade was simply off of us reclaiming VWAP with strong price action and me trying to play to the all-time highs break. And I'll show you guys my alerts as well, but simply I enter calls. I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure I enter calls right here. Stop loss right. It was kind of hard to kind of guess, but it was actually just below this kind of order block right here. So it actually would have been below at this area right here. Right here, right? You just kind of want to see this trend continue. And what do we have? A very, very nice all-time highs break. Very, very insane risk to reward on this trade, right? Over a 10% risk to reward. And now I'm gonna show you guys the alert on that trade as well, or my alert. So let me pull it up real quick. Dang, I took this trade quite a while ago. All right, so I found it. So again, what are we noticing? What I'm doing these past couple of trades, playing with the trend. Clear risk to reward, right? I'm being patient for high probability setups, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it, right? I'm waiting for a pullback on some of my entries, right? So I can have clear risk to reward. I can have some confirmation on buyers are there. If you guys want in-depth strategy, right, it's actually in my Discord, but and also on my YouTube, so you guys can watch that as well. But let me pull up now my thesis on AMD. So right here. So AMD above buy trigger, watch his name now, smaller size but all-time highs play. AMD calls on watch. In AMD calls, just playing to the trend to the all-time highs level, right? Manage your risk here. And then what do we see here, right? We end up holding market structure beautifully, and we end up having that nice break to that high of day area. Anyway, pre-market high, we were above pre-market high, so yeah, very, very nice break to all-time highs level, and then this name is end up absolutely ripping, right? So now I know I'm doing 272's all-time highs level. Let's see this runners can run, and then QQ and Nvidia also look good as well, right? You want to see the indices doing good as well while you're in trades with the same direction. And you know, this trade just absolutely ended up going insane, right? The trade ended up going 200%, right? And that's pretty much it. Like, if you guys can see, right, I'm not doing anything too crazy on these trades. I'm just simply following the trend, waiting for high probability setups, high probability market conditions, and just letting my edge play out. And that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. And yeah, so that's pretty much the AMD trade. Like, I guess you really want to put a name on what the entry was, right? It was just literally a reclaim above this VWAP, bullshit higher time frame thesis, pretty much a break above this order block, right? I kind of want to see the order block hold, and that's pretty much it. That's literally, I literally am not doing anything crazy, right? Guys, you can literally, like, as long as you have good risk, right, and you're not taking stupid setups, you should be profitable long term. But the problem is people just can't just resist from themselves from doing stupid things. Like, it's just really unfortunate for some people, right? And I don't really blame them. It's actually very hard to kind of like follow these simple rules. Like, it's very common that people say, you know, don't revenge trade, don't do this, don't do that, and it's common sense, but like people don't follow it. Like, majority don't follow it, and unfortunately common sense is not common, right? But yeah, so let's go to this Tesla trade now. This final trade, I don't remember what I did on this trade, right? Let's see here. Tesla. So this trade $4,200, right? Very, very straightforward day. What's happening in this trade? We are above our previously high level. We're above our pre-market high level. Higher time frame is clearly bullish. We're in an uptrend. I'm just playing with the trend. Like, literally comment, like, guys, trading is not hard. It's just not hard. Like, you guys seeing the fast forward trades, the biggest trades, they've been higher time frame, right, above our levels, clear risk to reward, right? That's how you get confidence to enter these setups. So what was my entry on this trade? I don't even have it marked out. Like, actually, I can just tell what my entry was on this trade. I can't even lie, right? I'm pretty sure I entered off this kind of retest of this fair value gap right here. Stop loss will be below this fair value gap plus key level, right? And I just want to see this trend continue. I guarantee that was my entry on this trade. I'll actually find it. So give me like 10 seconds. I'll find it, guys. Yeah, I found it. So let me pull this up. Right, so this is my entry on this trade. Above our pre-market high level, above our previous high level, right? Higher time frame is bullish. Nice, want to see a trend continue, right? That's simply a trade. And then, you know, this trade ended up going, by the way, guys, this trade ended up going over 2,000%, by the way. This is actually technically the biggest trade I took, but I actually ended up letting my runners run. I kind of wasn't expecting such a big move, right, guys? I won't lie, this was kind of the first bigger trade I've taken this entire year. And so, guys, look at this trade. Just look at this trade. Look how far Tesla ended up running. Look at this shit. Like, absolutely ridiculous, right? These 0-day contracts ended up going over 2,000%. So potentially I could have made $8,000 on this trade, but I just did not let my runners run, and just, you know, it is what it is, right? But, you know, our job as traders is not to get the most money possible out of every trade. It is to be profitable and make money consistently. That's literally our job, right? So that is pretty much, right, the setup, pretty much above our pre-market high, previous high level. A nice pullback into fair value gap, right? Clearly showing strong buyers. I want the trend to continue. Hard time frame is clearly bullish, and just want to see this trade just ride, right? If we end up breaking back below this previous high level, this pre-market high level, then we're going to be choppy, and slash the market structure is going to break. So my thesis is going to be invalidated. So that's pretty much it, right? I think I pretty much talked about the 4 steps I took, and if you guys didn't notice, right, there are very common themes among those 4 kind of stocks or those 4 examples I just traded, right? Very common examples, and I'm not going to point them out. I'm not going to point them out because I already talked about them multiple times in this video, right? Very, very common themes about these trades, right? Trading is not complicated, guys. I'm telling you, there's no secret. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like my indicators are actually low-key, like, the best indicators possible. But besides my indicators, right, no indicator is really going to save you, right? Bookmark, all these things, right, like, aren't going to really change your trading. If you're doing stupid shit, nothing's going to save you, right? But yeah, that's pretty much the video, right? I talked about those 4 setups, right? My 4 biggest kind of trading days I had this month to make the biggest month of the year. And so that's pretty much the video, right? If you guys got value, right, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and yeah, I guess that's the video, guys. Peace.